Kinetics is the study of reaction rates. So what do we mean by the rate of a reaction? Suppose I have a reaction where A is turning into B. If I monitor the concentration of A over the course of time, I'm going to find that it decreases. However, it does not decrease linearly. It'll decrease rapidly at first, and then more slowly. I could similarly monitor the concentration of B and I would find that it would increase. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. We denote the concentration of something in the units of moles per liter or molarity using brackets. So if you see this, square brackets around A, it means the molarity or the moles per liter of A. For something to be a rate of reaction, it has to be a rate of change. The way we would measure the rate of reaction here would be as the change in concentration of A per unit time. Or I could measure it by looking at how B changes. B would do something different. It would increase rapidly at first and then slow down, but I would have a similar relationship. You'll notice that the rate of reaction isn't always constant. If I look at A's concentration is changing more rapidly in the beginning here, as noted by a steeper curve, than it is later where the slope is more gradual. But generally speaking, when we measure the rate of reaction, we're looking at the change in concentration of something per unit time, which is going to be in units of molar per second, or instead of molarity, IB likes to say moles dm -3 per second, which is the same as mole dm -3 seconds -1 would be a way of explaining the rate of reaction. This seconds can be in different units. Minutes might also be a possibility. Depending on how fast or slow the reaction is, different units would be preferable. So one way of measuring is change in concentration per unit time. Another way, if the container is reacting and releasing a gas, the mass will decrease over the course of time. So we could measure it by the change in mass per unit time. If we are producing a gas and collecting it, we might look at the change in volume per unit time. Depending on the reaction itself and how we're studying it, different units might be preferable in different ways of actually studying it. Later, we'll look at different experimentation techniques that would work for different kinds of reactions. The most common one to use is the change in concentration per unit time. You will find that all reactions go more rapidly in the beginning than later on. Early on, there are more molecules present and the probability of molecules reacting is much higher. Later, as that concentration decreases, the probability of the reaction decreases.